Bum, 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 bum. Hello! Welcome back. Hi. Testing, testing. Testing all my sounds. Hello. Welcome back. Hello. Welcome back to another spooky night. Oh, did I send the alerts? I did send a lot. So far, first D20 roll. Headed to me. ALX. I never win these shits. So big shout out to me. That's huge. Thank you for being here. As a reminder, we are live in 3 platforms. Clock app. There's some hoes in the stream. Is it me? Am I the host? Or is it you? Is it both of us? Wow. That makes sense. That makes sense. How was you guys this week so far? Hot girl summer. Hey. How's everyone's week? Is everybody having a good time? We got a full moon on Friday. And it's a micro moon. Lots of shifting. Lots of finally doing those transformations. Get your rituals going. Get your telescopes out. Go watch them. Go look at how pretty it's gonna be, even though it's the smallest one we'll probably get ever. And yeah, enjoy. I personally am not going anywhere on Friday because I myself am an emotional Scorpio moon. So full moons in general, if you believe in the woo-woo, make me already incredibly sensitive to a lot of things. It's been a week. How are you guys? Megan Thee Stallion is free for the summer. I know. You can tell she's heartbroken, but I'm glad that she's out there already. At the same time, I feel so bad. It's weird. My Aquarius queen, who I look up to. Love you, girl. Yeah. She's gonna have us acting up. My guess is she's going to take a minute, and towards the second half of the summer, she's going to have new music for us. And she's going to drag them in to the floor. She's going to grab him by the neck and just drag him. But you know. What do I know? He was never the better Splash Brother anyway. I said what I said. We have a spooky night ahead of us. But before we continue, I just want to remind you guys, we are live in 3 platforms. The Clock app, the Purple app, and the Red app. That means TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. I am doing quite fine and dandy. I've had an emotional couple days. I'm not going to lie. I've also been trying to support the Clock app. Desire of forcing myself into an hour stream or an hour live yapping session with just me, even if nobody's showing up, because it wants me to be more active, and it's been an interesting experience. It has been keeping me kind of busy from creating content, which I kind of hate. But I'm getting used to it, I think. Thank you for the stretch, Eric. Appreciate you. Wow. If you guys must know, there is a potato. There is a small potato. Thank you for the 100. Let me get my walla walla walla. I do love my walla. There may be a small potato. We were just training before we went live. She needs to work on her down. Nah, we all was there. Some are too short to see though. Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean we're all there? Some are too short to see. Oh, you're talking about the lives? Wait, what are you talking about? Or are you making a short joke? Like I was saying. Oh, do you guys see this? Hold on. This motherfucker, he is making a short joke. Do you see this? I can't point correctly. Do you see that summit thing? Thing that says summit? I went to the Denver Summit's game against San Diego's Sirens. Boy, what a great game. As a not native, but as a Coloradan now that's lived here long enough, I am trying really hard to support the teams, but truthfully, my heart will always go out to the Miami teams. Hi, Celine. Welcome to chat. Welcome to chat. We're going to have some spooky nights. We're just catching up on news and days and life stuff. But because of that, of them being brand fucking new to the women's soccer league, I finally just like locked the fuck in and was like, let's fucking do it. And so I am now a Denver Summit fan. They did amazing in their game. They haven't done great, I would say. I don't expect amazing greatness and perfection from a brand new team in the league that just inaugurated literally this fucking year. But for them playing the top team of the league, a 3-2 match, not bad at all. Not bad at all. I really loved it. I thought it was fascinating. They killed it, in my opinion. Had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. And the fact that they were able to keep up, that was great. They did score the first 2 points in the first half, went to the break, came back on the second half. The Sirens basically just like had it, caught it. They synchronized as a team and came back stronger. The end of the match was pretty intense, but you can tell it was like they loved being home, to hear the crowd and like got the ampli. They just loved it being home. And then you can also tell at the same time that they were kind of slightly getting in their heads and like trying to rush through being able to get those next couple goals to try to beat the lead once they got to like 2-2 and a tie. But yeah, it's okay. Other than that, I've been just having training sessions with Frida. So a lot of that is just like us spending quality time training. We're working on our walk right now. And the bigger one has been laying down and settle. She is struggling for the most part. Welcome, Gabe. She is just not being the... Well, no, that's a lie. I'm gonna give her more credit. They basically explained to me that because she's a much smaller dog, her anatomy kind of doesn't necessarily allow her to do things like the bigger dogs can. So it's harder for her to understand where and how. And the great tip that the trainer that we're working with kind of gave us was look at things and tools that she likes to lay on. So a bed, a rug, maybe a blanket. That might be an easier transition for her to understand how to go down. And so we've been working on that. She has a blanket she loves doing. She also has a rug, obviously, next to me during streams that she lays on sometimes that you guys have seen. Welcome to Gaming Boy. So we're doing that today. Actually, I did parallel training with Florence and Frida because Florence already knows how to go down and settle. So basically, every time Frida would take too long to figure something out, you notice me, senpai. Yeah, I'm trying to say hi to as many people that come in into the clock app. But welcome back. I see you, man. As a reminder, we are live in 3 platforms. So if you ever not catch me somewhere, you know you can catch me somewhere else. What was I saying? Oh yeah, whatever Frida wouldn't do, I would switch to Florence, and Florence will end up doing it. So what it was is like showing by example what you're supposed to be doing, and then literally after I was done with Florence, I would go back to Frida, and Frida would start doing it. And so it's been an interesting kind of couple days, honestly, to a week of trying to figure out the best way to train her at home. But yeah, very busy. I'm not gonna keep yapping like this. We're gonna go ahead and get into the spooky ooky things, the things that we can yap about, all things ghost related stuff. Today is spooky night. On Wednesdays we celebrate all things spooky. We talk about the paranormal. We do those kind of things, obviously, as long as it's not too copyright. But as a reminder to everybody, we are live in 3 platforms. Go ahead and join me in either one of them. Do not hesitate. Do not stress. Shout out to Mess, Big F, Eric, and the lurkers over on the Purple app. Tomorrow we continue with Cyberpunk. We're playing Cyberpunk again. I kind of missed it, so I wanted to bring it back and continue the challenge run we have started. So on Thursday we'll be playing Cyberpunk, and on Friday we have another early Warframe hangout stream. So check out those alerts. Remember to join the Discord if you want to. Come hang out. Don't hesitate. I appreciate you for being here, and thank you for spending that quality time with me. Let me go ahead and get some stuff ready real quick. Let me just go ahead and do that. Oh, lordy lord. Okay. Shout out to the lurkers. Deny. Y'all ready? La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Oh. What? Why is that not there? What? Hold on. Am I still in the other window? Bitch. I had told you. I said. Can you guys hear Frida? I hope you could. I thought I did it, but I guess not. Okay, there you go. Oh my god, the way that Microsoft is forcing. I don't want that. Why are you forcing Copilot on us? Make it a decision we can choose from. Let's talk about the Appalachian Mountains. You guys ready? Okay. We can do it. Can you guys hear my birds?
It's so beautiful, it's so peaceful, and I love the Appalachian Mountains and the region around it. It's so beautiful, it's so peaceful and eerie, and just everything I love about nature. Guys, personally, I'm from North Carolina, so I grew up around the Appalachian Mountains. I'm in Western North Carolina, and I love this region so much. But there are so many horror stories, freaky stuff, sightings, weird mysteries that happen in this region, and I wanted to put it all into a video, so let's get into the horrors of the Appalachian Mountains. Be sure to subscribe if you want more videos like this, or follow if you're on Spotify. I've done the horrors of the deep ocean, the horrors of Yosemite National Park. I love these kinds of videos, so there's gonna be a lot more in the future. Also, I have an Instagram.
What's up, Hound Dog? I know a way to get rid of Copilot. I'm gonna need you to share that on the Discord at some point for those that really don't want to use it. Do it. If anybody is not following Aiden, you should go follow him.
Where you can, follow me. And then I have a Discord where we can hang out and talk and stuff, so join that if you're interested. But let's get into this. The Appalachian Mountains
He's like the Appalachian. Yeah, today we talking Appalachian, bruh.
run along the
For those that are not from America, this is basically like the spookiest area of the United States where things are unexplainable and happen, and it's all paranormal, folklore kind of thing. Think about what's up, Antonio? I don't know. For my Americans in the chat, how would you describe the Appalachian Mountains? I look at them as like a hub in an area where undescribable things happened, creatures are seen, and you're not supposed to be out at a certain amount of time. Hound Dog says if the locals warn you, listen to them. Actually, that's true. Yes, that's like another thing. Big F calls it the supranational adoption location. Adoption is crazy. What's up, Antonio? How you doing, man?
eastern
Thank you for
side
showing
of
back in
North
chat.
America, stretching roughly 1,500 miles from Newfoundland in Canada down to central Alabama in the United States. They pass through states like Maine, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Tennessee, and North Carolina. Major subranges include the Blue Ridge, which is where I am. Other subranges include the Great Smoky Mountains and the Alleghenies. The Appalachian Trail alone cuts through 14 states, crossing into some of the most remote terrain in the U.S.
You think so? Annabelle doesn't fuck with the mountains? You think so? Do you think she cares? Like, if we were to look at it prospectively, do you think she would care, or do you think she just gain excitement out of it?
These mountains are very, very old. They're ancient. They're over 480 million years old. They formed during a series of continental collisions long before the Atlantic Ocean even existed in its current shape.
Oh, yeah, that's so true. I remember reading about this because the Appalachian Mountains are part of other types of mountains, and apparently those mountains are also just as paranormal related things, and they're in Europe, basically. I think Europe, Africa as well. I could be wrong about that. I don't know the geography of how things split by that point, but they're all in a way connected and they all experience the same things, but they're all in different locations now because plate tectonics and the way all of it kind of split, basically. Patagonia, is that what it was? I am confusing other locations of the world. See, it's the American fucking it's no, it's the American Pangea. It's the American education system, guys. My bad.
At one point, they were likely comparable in height to today's major mountain systems. Hundreds of millions of years of erosion wore them down into long ridge lines and rounded peaks. And that amount of age and amount of time really matters because it created a landscape full of deep forests, extensive cave systems, sinkholes, and complicated underground geology. It's a very old, very ancient piece of land that has a lot of personality because of how old it is. It had enough time to gain that personality. The region, commonly referred to as Appalachia in general, covers parts of 13 states, and it has its own cultural identity. Isolation shaped much of its history. Many communities developed in narrow valleys, often called...
Just read the family she don't talk about. Nah, she aged out, so they booted her. Does she come from North Carolina? Is she from... What is Annabelle's actual origins? Are we gonna have to look this up after this video? We're gonna look that up. Because I actually don't know Annabelle's original origins. And I don't believe the fucking movie. So we're gonna look that up later.
Hollers, separated by steep ridges. For generations, travel between towns could take hours. Coal mining, logging, and railroad expansion brought economic growth, but also left behind abandoned infrastructure. Also stripped hillsides and environmental damage, and that all still affects parts of the region today. Now I'm gonna glaze the Appalachian Mountains some more. Environmentally, the Appalachians contain some of the most biodiverse temperate forests in the world. Dense canopy cover can block out sunlight. Fog settles low in valleys, especially in areas like the Great Smoky Mountains. Wildlife is active and visible. Black bears, coyotes, bobcats, wild boar. In certain areas, cell service disappears quickly once you leave main roads.
Nature is scary. Hartford, Connecticut. That's where she's from? Are Doreen and is Doreen, are the Warrens from Connecticut? Was it all just in Connecticut or no? No, it wasn't. Because they went around the US, right? Honestly, I don't do scary, but I want to watch all the Annabelle Nun universe. It's actually pretty fucking fascinating. I didn't watch the last one. Um the ending chapter of the whole entire series. Because half of me thinks that they're gonna keep doing the universe stuff that they're doing, and I think they are. But I liked it. Some are better than others. I didn't like the Nun. I think it's okay. I didn't like Annabelle, but I like Annabelle Origins. And then I like, obviously, the first ever Conjuring was sick as hell. The third one was pretty good too. The second one, I liked all of them, but if you were to rank scares for me, I think it was, I haven't seen the last one, so I think it's the fourth one is the last one. But I remember at least watching the first three. I would rank scares wise, like if you just think about the scares. The first one ever came out, probably my favorite one because it sets the tone of the entire series. Then I put the third one. Then I'd say the second one. The Conjuring was your first? Your share video on Discord? Hell yeah. Yeah, I thought if anything, The Conjuring is a phenomenal series. And it's funny because I look back at the movies, the ones that I was able to watch, at least specifically The Conjuring. I artistically for a horror movie, by the third one, if anything, they got really good artistically. Like through frame shots and stuff. I think what butchers it sometimes is the CGI. When there's too much CGI, that's when I get irritated. And I'm just like, just do camera tricks. It almost feels better that way. Because it still adds to the aspect of the unknown. So it feels a little bit better, but like not, I don't know. I feel like people sometimes want to see something, which I get because I remember being younger and watching The Ring for a really long time, or watching The Ring for the first time and trying to watch it again and not be able to really sit down and process it because for the longest time, I was freaked the fuck out by The Ring. Especially at the point where she reveals her face. Just to get freaked out.
Person can step off trail and lose their bearings within minutes. And all of that comes together to create this setting of the Appalachian Mountains. Such great history, both geologically and
you watch this con?
This area. I love it so much, and let's get into the horrors of it. I'm so excited. The 1996 Shenandoah Murders. In May of 1996, Julianne, or Julie Williams, and Laura, or Lolly Winans, traveled to Shenandoah National Park in Virginia for what was supposed to be a normal backcountry hiking trip. Julie...
Not gonna lie, I'm not rushing to go to the Smoky Mountains in the Appalachian. I'm not rushing it. I go to a lot of national parks. Those are the ones I'm not rushing it.
Was 24. Lolly was 26. They were experienced outdoors women. Lolly had worked as a wilderness guide in the past. This wasn't two people wandering into terrain they didn't understand. They brought Lolly's golden retriever, Taj, and planned to camp along trails near the Skyland area of the park. Shenandoah isn't a forgotten wilderness. It runs along the Blue Ridge Mountains, follows Skyline Drive, and sees heavy traffic, especially in late spring. The Skyland section in particular is one of the more developed parts of the park. There are lodges, maintained trails, and steady foot traffic during peak season. That context matters because this really wasn't an isolated, unreachable stretch of land. It was a national park people felt safe bringing, whole families and kids into. The two women were last confirmed seen on May 24th, 1996. After that, there were no verified sightings. When they failed to return...
This makes me want to then take a deep dive of how many people have gone missing in national parks because the number of that is actually astronomical. And at times I really don't know, or not even gone missing, but death has happened at national parks. And it's not even it's not even half of it's not even paranormal. It's just something in the fucking air. People just shit happens.
Or make contact, concern grew. Their vehicle was later located at a trailhead area inside the park. At some point, Taj, the dog, was found alive without them. He had not simply wandered home with them trailing behind. No, he was completely alone. Search efforts began. Shenandoah is dense in places. Trails weave into wooded slopes and hollows. Even with marked paths, visibility changes quickly depending on weather or foliage. On June 1st, 1996, roughly a week after they were last seen, their bodies were discovered at a backcountry campsite near the Bridle Trail in the Skyland area. This is where it gets bad. It was immediately clear that this wasn't any kind of accident or a case of hikers getting lost. Both women had been bound. They had been sexually assaulted. They had been shot. The crime occurred at their campsite. There were no signs they had managed to escape or signal for help. Because the murders occurred on federal land, the FBI joined the National Park Service in the investigation. Early on, investigators had to consider the nature of the setting. A national park is public, transient, constantly shifting. Visitors move through daily. Campers arrive and leave. Someone could commit a crime and...
Were they being chased by someone the whole entire time then? Because that makes no sense. If all of that happened, there's no way it was just a one-off.
exit the area within hours, blending
Like, it wasn't just a random incident. I feel like somebody basically was following the girls.
back into normal traffic along Skyline Drive. Biological evidence was collected, including semen samples that allowed investigators to develop a DNA profile of an unknown male suspect. In 1996, DNA technology existed, but was far less powerful than it is today. CODIS was still expanding, and forensic genealogy wasn't yet a real thing. Investigators had a profile, but no match. The case quickly became one of the most disturbing crimes in the park's history. It also raised difficult questions about motive. Williams and Winans were a couple in 1996. Some community members and advocates questioned whether the crime may have been motivated by anti-LGBTQ bias.
I was gonna say, because it was giving queer, there's no way.
Law enforcement never publicly confirmed a hate crime classification, largely because there was no direct evidence establishing motive beyond the violence itself. But the possibility lingered in public conversation for years. Other theories circulated as well. Some speculated that the attack was opportunistic, a predator moving through the park who just encountered the women by chance. Others wondered whether it could be connected to other unsolved crimes in Virginia, including comparisons in media coverage to the Colonial Parkway murders from the late 1980s. Law enforcement did not formally link the cases, but the geographic proximity kept the comparison alive.
So the thought of somebody probably being around the area just targeting people doing some shit, like, that's a thing.
For years, the case stalled in public view. Investigators preserved the DNA evidence, tips came in, suspects were considered and eliminated, but there was no arrest. No public breakthrough, just two women who went on a hiking trip in a well-visited national park and were killed at their own campsite. By the end of the 1990s, the essential facts were that the crime was deliberate, sexually violent, and committed by a man whose DNA didn't match anybody in the federal database. Now, the DNA profile that the investigators had been able to develop from the crime scene was entered into CODIS, which is the national DNA database used by law enforcement. And over the years, as the database expanded and new offenders were added, the profile was routinely compared, but it never matched anyone. There were suspect leads. At different points, people publicly speculated about possible links to other violent offenders in Virginia. One name that surfaced in online discussions years later was Richard Evidence, a serial killer active in Virginia in the late 1990s. Law enforcement eventually ruled him out, though, through DNA testing. Other individuals were investigated and cleared. None matched the profile recovered from the scene. As forensic science advanced in the 2000s and 2010s, especially with the rise of forensic genealogy, older cases across the country began to reopen. Investigators could now upload crime scene DNA profiles to genealogical databases that contained voluntarily submitted consumer DNA data. Instead of waiting for a direct match to a convicted offender, they could identify distant relatives and build family trees backward. the FBI revisited.
Wouldn't it suck if you fucking put your DNA into one of those data systems and you try to figure out some shit, right? And you end up finding out you have a sibling that you've never met in your fucking life, but that sibling somehow gets flagged as like, or that sibling's DNA gets flagged as like a serial killer or something that they had done that's completely fucking atrocious, just like this. But your DNA is the only one in the system because of those DNA tracing ancestry fucking websites and systems. And then the feds and the police are basically knocking at your door asking you, hey, do you know X, Y, and Z? What are all the male or female and or like people that are in your family? And I'm just left in the corner like, what do you mean? Which leads me to only answer back with X, Y, and Z. But then it still be somehow not related to them. But then like I'm still somehow like, you just imagine, which is crazy. And I only say that because I actually have half siblings that I've not met yet because my father was a hoe. So it's just like, I just think about, maybe that's why I haven't done a DNA test. I get scared a lot about that. I have a lot of thoughts about that. Also, I don't like who owns half of these data centers for the DNA stuff. But I get scared the idea of like me fucking finding half siblings out there, and it because my father was a hoe. So it's like, yeah. Any family member connects. Yeah, pretty much.
The Shenandoah case using those newer techniques. In 2024, the FBI announced they had identified the killer as Walter Leo Jackson Sr. Jackson had died in 2018. He was 69 years old at the time of his death. According to the FBI, Jackson's DNA was matched to the profile recovered from the crime scene using forensic genealogy and confirmatory testing. He had a history of violent crime. In 1989, he had been convicted of abduction with intent to defile in Culpeper County, Virginia. He had served time in prison and was later released. His background included sexual violence, which aligned with the nature of the Shenandoah murders. Jackson had not been publicly identified as a suspect during the original investigation. There's no indication he was arrested or formally charged in relation to those murders while he was alive. Because he died in 2018, the case...
Wait, was he even in the area and had already reports on it? Because if that was the case, then why the fuck wouldn't had a flag been raised the list if he had sexual misconduct and sexual crimes under him? Was he living in the area? Did the police just not check the registry? Oh,
didn't proceed to trial, and the FBI formally closed it in 2024. At least this case was solved and the families have some closure, but for me, this one in particular brings up a question of the justice system, because this guy had been arrested and convicted for sexual violence and abduction with intent to defile. It seems like we should have known this was coming, and if we had done something more about it, then these two women might still be alive today. But I don't know, maybe we'll never know. The 1981 Appalachian Trail murders. In May 1981...
There is so many... Hold on, let me go look something up. Let me look something up. Hold on. I promise you I'm cooking. Okay. I'm finding things. Oh, maybe this one. Oh, it's a full-on film. Wow. Rights reserved to them. That's theirs.
A October 20th, 1973. El Yunque National Forest, Puerto Rico. Friends on a camping trip have the uneasy feeling they're being watched.
We saw sort of like a shadow figure in there.
Bitch, this is not answering my question. Hold on. This isn't answering the question. Oh, there we go. This guy might.
Coming up on this episode of Belief Hole.
In recent years, an unsettling and controversial subject has been gaining attention. A concerning number of people have inexplicably gone missing from national parks and elsewhere. Over the past 10 years, former police officer and researcher David Politis has identified unique characteristics in these cases that produce an unusual pattern. But what does the pattern mean? And where did these people go?
Yo, I'm telling you, national parks are fucking creepy. I love being in them. I love taking pictures of them.
While recognizing the heartbreak left in the wake of the missing, on this episode of Belief Hole, we attempt to scour...
I know a family, all different fathers, not the mother's husband. What? They're just men she's been with.
...of our reality, and open the unseen doors. While cross-correlating recent scientific discoveries in quantum physics with ancient tribal and fairy lore, we recount witness reports of real portals appearing from places as wild as remote wilderness to
I just know the park rangers have some crazy stories, and I feel bad because they don't get paid enough for half the shit they have to deal with at parks anyway.
as familiar as your own backyard. Join us as we endeavor to explore Missing 411 Portal Theory.
Isn't the portal theory also something that keeps being brought up for what Bigfoot is and how Bigfoot gets around? Because he's an interdimensional being, or that's the theory that people have, and that's why sometimes we see him, sometimes we don't. The kids thought it would be fun to do a DNA test for Christmas. That is fucking crazy. That is insane. Did that cause some drama? That's crazy. That's crazy. Good for them. But that's fucking crazy.
Conspiracy, synchronicity, Sasquatch, homunculus, alien.
They were in the 40s. So they were old enough to do that. What were the parents? Did they react to it? They were probably freaking out.
Satanism in Hollywood, MK Ultra, Tartaria.
There's like a whole. I've been watching this one guy.
Close the door, Jeremy. Close your door.
What's the
Inner Earth disagreements.
Ghost Dad?
I like that movie. Dogman, Bohemian Grove, Corey Feldman. Magicians are demons. Specters and spooks. Summonings, occult teachings. Strange disappearances. Sky whales.
She knew that they were going to do the test? She didn't know she was going to do the... As in, she knew that obviously they are all different kids? Or did she knew that they were going to do the test?
Phenomenon. Yes. Alternative history. Shadow people. Shh, quiet. I'm trying to say words with the mouth. It's getting dicey out there. Poltergeists.
That's cool. Anunnaki.
What is the moon?
Elf Towers. I would never talk about it. That's old. Y2K.
Cover-ups. Apocalyptic. Catastrophe. Vampire.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Jeremy. And I'm Chris.
And I'm John.
She was upset when she heard about the test. Well, maybe be honest about it from the beginning. How about that, Mom?
And we are the brothers of the Belief Hole. And today, boy, we have a fascinating episode for you guys.
Oh, I don't know if I can
A
listen to
topic
all
we
of
haven't
this.
talked about in quite some time, but and if you're new to the show, quick disclaimer.
What's missing 411? Hold on. Now I need to deep dive on this. I love these streams because honestly, we're just deep diving. Missing 411. What?
Hello, everybody. Today we are going to begin to break down the mystery of Missing 411. Missing 411 refers to a series of unexplainable disappearances across North America. As we're going to see throughout the series, some of these cases are so bizarre that it's hard to even speculate what could have happened to these people. And yes, I did say series because as you're going to see, this topic is so wide and interesting that this is only the beginning of our analysis of it. Every year along North America's national parks, landmarks, roadways, and cave systems, the most unexplainable disappearances take place.
Can I take a moment to just ask a serious question? What is it about cave systems that people want to go explore? Like, legit question. Why? Like, I've gone to cave systems, but I've only done the touristy side with a shit ton of people, and then I've left. When people go caving, I'm like, what? For what? What is the reason?
So across this video and future installments of Missing 411, we're going to look at several of these cases, we're going to look at different theories and correlation between them, and hopefully we can begin to unpack the mystery of the American wilderness. And today we're going to do that with a special guest, but more on him in a moment. But for now, grab a seat and get ready to go on a journey of American terror. But before I enjoy reading the stories and then relaying that information I can get behind. And that friend is my fellow host of the Weird Bible podcast and host of the Lore Lodge.
Depends on what's in them. I understand the concept of trying to dive for treasures. Like, I get it. Like, I also know that people are still looking for gems and people finance a lot of shit through the gem world. But it's the people that get the adrenaline as a sport. And I'm just kind of like, you guys...
Aiden Matthias. So rather than having myself give you a rundown of what constitutes a 411 case and giving you the commonalities that I found between them, I'll just let the expert do it.
Thank you, Isaiah, you beautiful, beautiful giant man. My name's Aiden Mattis, and I am the host of the Lore Lodge, where we talk about history, folklore, the paranormal, religion, and, of course, the missing 411 phenomenon. When Isaiah first asked me to be involved in this video, my immediate response was, who do you think you are to approach me in such a manner? In reality, I was actually quite grateful because Isaiah and I are good friends and I like helping. The
Okay!
he asked me to go over, however, was the missing 411 profile. What makes a case a missing 411 case? Because, of course, we're not just dealing with any missing persons case here. Cases that have obvious explanations, such as foul play, self-harm, or, animal predation, something like that. Those don't get researched as missing 411 cases. They're actually ruled out immediately upon there being a simple explanation. So, a missing 411 case is, by definition, a case for which there is no rational explanation. And on top of that, there are a number of factors that go into this that David Paulides, the guy who started writing the books on the missing 411 phenomenon, the guy who coined the term, which, by the way, in case you're wondering what missing 411 means, missing is obvious, it's missing persons cases, and 411 is the dial code for calling for information. It's the information hotline. So, missing 411 is missing information. The information being exactly what happened to these people who went missing and were found in unusual circumstances, or who were found dead, or who were not found at all. So, David Paulides put together his profile points. Well, what do these cases generally have in common? There's a number of things, and while not every single one will apply to every single case, a majority of them usually do. So what I'm going to do for you here is I'm going to go through, I'm going to explain the profile points, and I'm going to give you quick little explanations regarding cases that fit those profile points, so that Isaiah can get on with the rest of the video with you having a solid understanding of exactly what he's talking about. There are 12 primary profile points regarding missing 411 cases, One of which is that they are clustered, usually. There will be a number of cases that occur in one specific area, and there are 52 of these clusters across the continental United States and Canada. The other
And they're all in national parks. Oh my god.
profile points are as follows. Most of these cases occur in national parks. Many of them involve elevation changes. A lot of them occur around bodies of water. People will often go missing near berry shrubs or boulder fields. Generally, the boulder fields are granite. A lot of people who are found won't have any memory of how they went missing or even the time during which they were. They'll just suddenly show up somewhere and not be able to explain what happened. Many people who are found are missing clothing. Some people attribute this to paradoxical undressing or heat stroke, but in a lot of these cases, the weather isn't extreme enough for either one of those to occur. People will sometimes go missing in...
What the fuck? National parks. Of course the government knows. You said that and part of me just went directly to like Colorado Springs, the military base in the mountain. Yeah.
swamps and end up found in places that they couldn't have possibly gotten to, or that they couldn't get there within the time frame that they went missing and were found. In a lot of cases, one of the utterly confounding things is that the dogs that are brought in, the bloodhounds, can't actually find a scent trail even when they're given someone's boot or something like that. They're just completely incapable of...
What if it's not paranormal? Or I guess I don't know. Are aliens considered paranormal? Are aliens considered paranormal tie-ins? Are aliens... Is that a weird question to ask? I feel like they're considered something else. Aren't they under a different category? Yes, no? Oh, they are considered paranormal because of it being an unexplained thing. Paranormal in the context refers to occurrences beyond normal experience. Oh, well, my bad. I didn't know that. Okay. Well, now I know.
Actually picking up the trail, or the trail will lead somewhere that doesn't actually make sense.
You would think I would know that.
Oftentimes, these cases will involve young children. Of course, that's not something that can necessarily be attributed with all of them, because many of these cases are adults, but when the cases do involve young children, there are many commonalities between them. And an honorable mention in terms of profile points here is that not a majority necessarily, but a rather large minority of these cases involve people of German descent. That one probably doesn't have to do with anything, but it is weird.
Aiden's going to continue to help out throughout the rest of this series, so you'll definitely be seeing more of him. But if you're interested in checking out his channel, The Lore Lodge, or the podcast that him and I do together, the Weird Bible Podcast, it will be the second link in the description just below the ad. In future videos, I want to group together cases that have some common ground and maybe theorize on what that could mean. But for now, again, this is mostly an introduction, I want to go through some of the ones that I find the most terrifying. As a matter of fact, Aiden and I would both like to do that, so I'll let him have the first go.
Another one of these common points, elevation change. People will be found after going missing at 4,000 feet, and they'll be found at 9,000 feet, with really no explanation for how it is that they got there. And a case that exemplifies that is that of Bobby Bizup. Bobby went missing in Rocky Mountain National Park. He was at camp, it was a Catholic boys camp, and all that could really be discovered is that he was fishing in a local stream, and then the counselors called everybody back for food. One counselor saw Bobby Bizup say he was coming down. He had his fishing rod, turned around, went down to the bottom of the mountain, and when he got there, he realized Bobby was nowhere to be seen. He just wasn't there. So they launched a search, and they could not find Bobby anywhere until eventually they found him several miles away, much higher up on the mountain, and all they found of him was his hearing aids, his some of his clothes, and fragments of his skeleton. They didn't find anything other than that.
While it's very
So he wasn't found alive? I didn't even know this.
common for no remains to be found in a 411 case, sometimes when they are found, the case becomes all the more bizarre. An example of that is the instance of Charles McCuller. In 1974, an 18-year-old Charles McCuller was known for taking hiking trips throughout the northwest United States. For about a year, Charles would hike out to these remote locations, take several wildlife pictures, and then work his way back. He was rather experienced, as is common with several 411 cases. and it wasn't uncommon for him to spend a few days by himself in the mountains before returning to civilization. So in 1975, when a 19-year-old Charles told his friends that he was going to hike to the Crater Lake National Park in Oregon, they didn't think much of it. That was until Charles didn't return for 3 days when he was only supposed to be gone for 2. So his friends called the police and an investigation soon followed. After performing an investigation, it seems the last person to see him alive was a park ranger who gave him a ride on January the 30th. That park ranger dropped Charles off at the trail he intended to follow. Some reports from that day say that Charles was spotted up to a 45-minute drive away just walking along the side of the road, and some other reports say that they saw someone matching Charles' description trudging through 5 feet of snow. However, the only one that can be confirmed is again that park ranger's testimony of taking him to the trailhead. A massive search was mounted for Charles, however it was made difficult to do any searching because of 12 feet of snow recently left by a snowstorm. Not only that, but after the case began, for some reason, the FBI became involved. The FBI only involves themselves with cases if a kidnapping or foul play is suspected. However, at this time in the investigation, it was just a guy who took too long to be on a hiking trip. To this day, it's not really explained why the FBI involved themselves. Especially because the evidence was that there was no evidence. The guy had disappeared without a trace. For months, nothing could be found, and even after all the snow had melted, there was still no evidence of Charles being anywhere. That was until October the 1st of 1976, nearly 2 years since his disappearance. On that day, 2 hikers found a backpack lying in the woods about 12 miles from the spot where Charles was originally dropped off. Within the backpack, the 2 hikers found keys to a Volkswagen, which after they gave it to the police, was a match to Charles' vehicle. So now that there was a lead, a search began at the location the backpack was found. And shortly thereafter, Charles' remains were discovered in the nearby Bybee Creek. And from there is where it gets weird. Charles' jeans were found sitting upright on a log with no other articles of clothing lying around it. Obviously, Charles hadn't gone hiking into the woods bare-chested just wearing his blue jeans, so his coat, shirt, and other undergarments were nowhere to be found. The only other article of clothing that was there was Charles' socks, which were tucked into the bottom of the jeans' pants legs. The jeans also had the belt and buttons undone, implying that whoever took them off had done so voluntarily. Upon investigation, remember the 2 socks I mentioned being in the pants legs of the jeans? Well, the socks contained various feet bones, and inside of the jeans were snapped shin bones. And then located in a pile about 12 feet away from the log were the skeletal remains of Charles McCuller. Due to the weathering and effects of nature, everything was dismantled and fragmented. However, enough of a dental record could be made to confirm his identity. However, despite finding his bodily remains, nothing else was located. None of his equipment, his boots, or any other articles of clothing were ever found. Even more bizarre is that the location this was found in is an insanely remote part off the trail, meaning that if Charles was lost and then trying to find his way through the snow, there would be no reason for him to essentially scale an icy mountainside, only to put himself in a more remote and dangerous location. Keep in mind, at the time he went missing, everything was covered in several feet of snow as well. That specific location where he was found was originally suggested to go look back during the original search. However, they couldn't get any men or snowmobiles up there, so they figured reasonably there's no way Charles could have got up there. So what force compelled Charles to climb to his final resting place? And perhaps...
Could it possibly be that he got kidnapped by somebody? Like, is there... I'm trying to find logic to all of this. I don't know why my brain works like that. It could just be some weird fucking coincidence. Not coincidence, sorry. Some weird shit that's unexplainable. But in my head, I'm like, is it possible that all these parks have, like, literal serial killers getting away with a bunch of things and nobody knows about?
More importantly, what force put him there? There are cases of what's called paradoxical undressing, or whenever someone gets extremely hot or extremely cold, they begin to take off their clothes in a state of delirium. And while that would make sense for Charles in this case, why were his feet and legs still within his clothing? Or part of his legs still inside of his clothing? And then you have questions about where the boots went and why the top part of his body was separated from some of the parts of the lower part of his body. And even if you were to say an animal came and caused the disfigurement that the rescuers would later find, then how were the jeans still undone, upright, sitting on a log as if nothing bad had happened? It's a mystery to this day and one of the cases that make the 411 so compelling.
As I said before, many of these cases involve young children, and it's not that they're young children that makes it odd, it's that they're young children who are then found in places they really shouldn't be. One example of this is Keith Parkins. Keith Parkins was a 2-year-old who went missing in Ritter, Oregon. Now, Ritter is an unincorporated community in rural Oregon, and it's very close to Umatilla National Forest. Keith was out playing with his brothers on his family's cattle ranch. Eventually, when they got called in for lunch, they noticed that he was missing, so they launched a search for him. A few hours later, 4 miles away, they found footprints, and then they had to follow those footprints for another several hours before eventually the next day, they found him face down on the ground, covered in scratches, alive, 12 miles from where he went missing.
How big was he? Could it have been a bird?
Explanation for the scratches was that a cat scratched him, but he had no explanation for how he covered 12 miles in less than 24 hours. And of course, you know, people wanted to see, is that even possible? So Les Stroud from Survivor Man tried to do the exact same hike, tried to cover the same distance, and he could not do it. So to be clear, I want to really drive that point home. A guy whose job is that they drop him in difficult terrain, and all he does is try and make his way to the extraction zone. He couldn't do this. So the idea that a 2-year-old feasibly could cover 12 miles of rough...
Yeah, that's not possible.
...in less than a day, it's just straight up
impossible.
But what about the ones that aren't necessarily just forests? Well, one of the profile points is swamps. And a case that had quite a few people baffled is the case of Rowan Grifton, who went missing in a swamp in 2010. Rowan was 2 years old, and he was at a family party at his grandmother's house, which is directly across the street from Barden State Wildlife Management Area. Now, that's not a national forest, but it is a state wildlife management area. New York is weird about their wildlife management areas. When we were doing our investigation on Tom Messick, the State Game Service would not speak to us. Rowan was playing with a cat, and then...
That's probably because they don't want to continue talking about it. Oh my god. This whole thing is actually kind of crazy. But before I do anything else, I did ask Annabelle. Horror history. I don't need the full hour. No. Oh shit. Ads are about to start over on the Purple app. Guys, ads are starting. Thank you for being here. Appreciate ya. Ads are starting over on the Purple app. Top of the hour ads. We are live in 3 platforms, so thank you guys so much for being here. Appreciate you. If you're watching those ads, those are a huge way of supporting the stream for free. Thanks. If you are watching on the Purple app, if you're watching on the Red app, thank you. Remember to like it. Or if you're going to watch it later on, remember to like it, please. I appreciate that. If you're watching it over on the Clock app, thank you guys so much for being here. Hope you join us at any point. Let me look for the origin story. I don't need a 30-minute documentary on Annabelle. I'm just curious. So we can do this one. Finian, what are you doing? Where are you? Are you okay, buddy? What are you doing? I just realized you've been laying on the rug this whole time. Here, we'll do this.
So I'm the type of person who will literally...
We're gonna pause this for a second because ads are still going. we're gonna remind ourselves we are fucking beautiful. And we are gonna tell you that in a couple seconds, we're about to watch the whole Annabelle story because I really wanted to know where she came from. And I don't remember it from the movies, to be honest. And I don't trust the movies. We'll do that. Frida and Finn are actually next to me right now, which is interesting. I pulled out the rug and now he's just laying on it. Frida's confused because that's usually where she lays down. So seeing her big brother up next to her is probably freaking her out. What are you guys sniffing for? There's nothing there. I think he wants a treat. Sit. Oh, Finian, is that what you were looking for? Okay, off. I'll give you a treat. Hold on, let me... If you guys are in... If you guys are in the purple app, then you will be able to see this. If you are in the red app, you will be able to see this. Good down, Finian. Good down. Good down, Bubba. Sit. Touch. Yes. Touch, Finn. Yes. Good down, Bubba. Keep showing Sissy how down is done. Hey, honey. Off. Off. Sit. Oh, God, you guys are so fucking cute. Okay, I think we're back for mats. We'll continue this in a second. Good job, Frida. Good sit. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Sorry about that. Okay, we're back at it with the Annabelle story.
So I'm the type of person who will literally go and see any new horror movie that comes out in theaters. And despite the fact that most of them are, how do I say it, horrible, I still for some reason find enjoyment in watching it.
Off.
And for me, there's no franchise that better epitomizes
Thank you for the pasta chuck.
than the Annabelle franchise. Like, the movies don't necessarily...
Thank you for the hydrate.
And critically, they never seem to do all that well, but I'll still be there on opening weekend, and I'm gonna have a grand old time doing so. And I think this is at least partially because the whole story of Annabelle is just so interesting to me. Now, as many of you will know, the films are loosely based off of a real-life doll that is supposedly the most haunted of its kind. And the whole backstory of this doll is so fascinating, and in many ways, it's scarier than the movies. So in today's video, we're going to be exploring the backstory of the real-life Annabelle doll, and then afterwards, I'm going to be testing out to...
Back it up on Annabelle to make her chill out. Not you fucking telling us to twerk on Annabelle. Bro. Come on. I mean, I'm sure she would be a huge... Ah! Frida, can you not cough and sound like a grown-ass man? Sorry, guys. I think I got nervous. I was like, what the fuck is that noise? Anyway.
See if the Annabelle doll that I own is haunted too.
Have her saying, we outside. She's gonna be part of the whole summer.
Better not be, alright?
She would too. Everybody's so scared of her. I feel like she's a chill girl. She just wants respect, you know? She just wants to be respected. Give her the respect. Tell her story properly.
Okay, so fun fact, the doll's not haunted. I spent hours with this damn thing trying to capture anything. And she had the nerve to just sit there. Unbelievable. So yeah, just pretend like I didn't say anything about that. And let's get into the story of an actual haunted doll.
Annabelle, they won't let us into the club because it's at capacity and she just haunts it to clear it out. She gives us the full-on floor.
In 1970, a woman named Donna was gearing up to graduate from college with the hopes of becoming a nurse. Donna had lived a fairly regular life up until this point. However, her life was about to become anything but. For her birthday, her mother had the idea to get Donna a Raggedy Ann doll. Perhaps this was a way to remind Donna that she'd always be her little girl. Or maybe it was a nod to Donna's childhood, given to elicit feelings of nostalgia. Whatever the reason was, Donna loved it, and upon getting home the night that she received the doll, she laid it on her bed as decoration. But it wouldn't stay there long. It started off subtle, a small move of the arm and a slight shift in position, just barely enough to notice, but not enough to cause too...
Hold on. Wait a second. So was the Raggedy Ann doll, aka Annabelle, at the time a second-hand passed down doll when it was given to her, or she was a brand new doll?
Much concern. I mean, after all, gravity can always be blamed when a doll shifts its position slightly. But gravity couldn't explain what would happen next. Donna and her roommate Angie would come home and find that the doll had moved. And I don't mean move positions. It allegedly moved rooms. When they would leave, it would be in Donna's room, and when they would get back, it would appear in a completely different room. The Raggedy Ann doll would be found in a random spot with its legs crossed and its arms folded, staring blankly at the bewildered girls. And in some instances,
She's just being a girly.
They claim that the doll was found standing upright on its feet, just standing there.
That would freak me out.
Defying gravity. And as scary as all this was, it was nothing compared to what the doll would do next. Over the next month, Donna and Angie began to find handwritten notes across their house. The notes were written in handwriting that was consistent with that of a young child's, and the messages would typically read, "Help us." Now, interestingly, the paper that was used to write these messages was not a type of paper that Angie or Donna would ever buy or had ever bought, meaning that the paper didn't come from within the house, leading them to wonder who or what it belonged to. One night, Donna returned to the house to find that the doll had once again moved on its own, but this time it had moved back onto her bed. An overwhelming sense of dread came over her as she approached the doll. She had found the doll in other rooms many times before, but she had a feeling that this time was different. As she examined the doll, she was horrified to discover that there was blood dripping from its hands and its chest. The blood seemingly had no origin, but it seemed as if it was splattered on the doll. Now, Donna and Angie knew that something was going on here, but what exactly was still a mystery. And in order to try and solve it, they contacted a medium. The medium agreed to help them, and they conducted a seance at the apartment. Now, during the session, a spirit revealed itself by stating that she was the spirit of Annabelle Higgins. The spirit claimed that she had lived on the property long before the apartments were there, and that these were happy times for her. She would go on to say that by the age of just 7, she passed away on the very land that the apartments were built. Annabelle finished by saying that she liked Donna and Angie, and that she felt comfortable around them, that she wanted to stay there and be loved by them. Now, obviously shocked by the story that the spirit had told them, Donna and Angie became sympathetic towards her, and they actually gave her permission to stay within the doll and to stay within the house. And little did they know, but they had just made a tragic mistake. One night, a friend of Donna and Angie's was spending the night at the apartment. The man's name was Lou, and he had been at the apartment on multiple occasions and was already quite familiar with Annabelle. However, he didn't share the same compassion for her. He was scared of the doll, and he even tried to warn them that it was evil and that it
She don't like you because you're a man.
should be removed from the household altogether. His warning fell on deaf ears. That night, Lou woke up from a horrible dream, drenched in sweat and shaking. Terrified, Lou tried to get up and move, but he realized he couldn't. Lou was paralyzed in his sleep. Trapped on his bed, he shifted his eyes around throughout the darkness of the room. That's when he saw it. Annabelle was laid out by his feet, staring directly at him. Slowly, the doll began to glide up his leg and then up his chest. All the while, Lou laid there helplessly, unable to move. As the doll stared at him, it suddenly reached its hands out and began to strangle Lou. With no way of moving or fighting back, Lou could only lay there as he slowly passed out due to lack of oxygen. Now, luckily for Lou, he woke up the next morning, but he was sure that this was no dream, and this whole event just reaffirmed his belief that this doll was in fact evil. The next day, Angie and Lou were alone in their apartment when they heard rustling coming from Donna's room. Fearful of an intruder, the two rushed into the room.
It's just Annabelle trying to get water, bro. Respect the girlie. She's trying to protect the girls from the man. I get it. I think Annabelle was just telling the girls that he wasn't a good guy.
Only to find that Annabelle was tossed into the corner. Lou searched the room for an intruder, but as his focus shifted to Annabelle, he began to feel as if someone...
Thank you for the stretch, Nachos. Appreciate that.
A quick turn of his head revealed that his suspicion was incorrect. However, a sudden piercing pain ripped through his chest, and he doubled over in pain. He looked down and realized that blood was soaked through his shirt.
What?
Once unbuttoned, it revealed 7 claw marks across his chest, each of which were hot to the touch and bleeding heavily. The gashes were deep, but somehow they fully healed within just 2 days, leaving behind not a single scar. So at this point, we can clearly tell that this doll was not possessed by a 7-year-old girl.
Not just with the 15.
Possessed by something very demonic. And Donna had finally realized that. Now, after contacting the church, the Warrens were called in to investigate this case. And if you guys don't know who the Warrens are, well, they're basically the power couple of paranormal research. Their resume is absolutely crazy. I'm not really going to get into it too much. This video, I might save it for another one, but let's just say that they were more than capable of taking care of this job. Ed and Lorraine Warren determined that the doll was possessed by an inhumane spirit, and that the spirit had manipulated Donna into believing that it was a little girl. This was done in order for the spirit to eventually possess Donna herself. Or in other words, the spirit that was attached to this doll was looking for a human host.
This is some 3 true stories to fall asleep to video.
Warrens believed that if
things
had continued at this pace for another 2 to 3 weeks...
Isn't there like a whole theory about the Warrens being scammers or like con artists or something? Does anybody remember those conversations? I remember people were talking about them not to be trusted. I do believe that they did do some things though.
That it was likely that all the home's inhabitants would have been killed. In order to assure that this doll wouldn't harm anyone ever again, the Warrens decided to take it home with them and add it to their collection of haunted artifacts.
That's such a big doll.
Silently, though. While driving home from Donna's house, the Warrens' car began to swerve violently out of control. The steering and the brakes suddenly failed, and the car was at the mercy of the inhumane spirit that was attached to the doll. Terrified, Ed reached his hand back and grabbed a vial of holy water and doused it on the doll while making the sign of the cross. Immediately after doing so, the car regained steering and the activity stopped. Once home, a priest was brought over to bless the doll. While there, he looked at Annabelle and he said,
Which other video? I don't remember. I think you need to tag me on which one. There's so many.
You're just a rag doll, Annabelle. You can't hurt anyone. Which, my guy.
It's not the one where babies are dying, right? Because I'm not going to play that one. Oh, okay. I think there was one that I had to set no to because I knew I was going to get banned. That sounds really bad, babies dying. But the whatever, it was the one that you guys had suggestion, that's like definitely not one I'm playing on stream.
You can't do that. A few hours after the priest had left the house, he called the Warrens in a panic, saying that his brakes had failed and that his car drove directly into a crowded intersection. The car crashed and was instantly totaled, and the priest nearly lost his life. Now, this is one instance that really showed the true power of Annabelle, and the Warrens knew that it was only going to get stronger. And so, in order to contain the spirit and protect the world from Annabelle, they decided to build that infamous box for her. And though this is probably where the story should end, there's still one more chapter to it, and it's honestly the most tragic one. A young couple had visited the Annabelle in the Warrens Occult Museum. Upon hearing Ed's warnings and stories about the doll,
I don't remember.
Did not believe what he heard. He went right up to the glass and began pounding on it, shouting for the doll to scratch him up, which is pretty kinky. Shocked by their behavior, Ed told the two to leave immediately. So the two hopped on their motorcycle and drove away laughing and making fun of the supposedly haunted doll. As the two laughed, the man lost control of his motorcycle and crashed head-on into a tree. The collision killed him instantly.
Hey, so do you, Nachos. Respect Annabelle.
His girlfriend survived but was kept in the hospital for nearly a year. Once released, she confessed to laughing at the doll, and how, as they were doing so, they lost control of the vehicle. Because of the circumstances, this death is said to be the work of the supposedly contained doll. Because of this, Ed warned people not to challenge the doll, because, quote, "No man is more powerful than Satan." Now some final thoughts on the story. First of all, this doll is scarier to me than this doll. I'm just saying. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. Let me know what you think.
I was talking about the lady, not Annabelle. Okay, valid.
Me, the story is
If you think about it, Annabelle is very proportional body-wise.
and mysterious, but I can't necessarily speak to its validity. It is possible that this is just another creepy ghost story that was created by the Warrens to boost their popularity. But at the same time, it's also possible that these events actually did happen, and that Annabelle truly is possessed by a demonic entity. And I think the fact that no one truly knows if it's real or fake just kind of adds to the intrigue of this whole story. And though I don't necessarily have an opinion on whether it's real...
I think, honestly, he's right when he says that the other doll is not as scary as the Raggedy Ann doll, because, truthfully, he's fucking right. I don't know why Hollywood decided to make some weird-ass doll. I find, if anything... Megan, the robot, she's scarier. She's scarier. And she's glammed up like a fucking TikToker. Okay. Flashing lights, this is your content warning. Flashing lights, sirens, slight gore, proceed with caution. Please keep that in mind when we're watching this.
At Circus Baby's Pizza World, we only have one rule. Don't ever let the fun come to an end. And with pizza, games,
No, Chucky's more scarier.
music, and more, we're sure you'll fit right in. Circus Baby's Pizza World. Come join the circus.
Okay. As above, so below. Why are we using that? Below?
God, I am sick and tired of this. We come down here, slaving away week after week for this company, fixing their damn robots, and what does it get us? A dirt cheap paycheck and daily trip down 24 flights of stairs.
Oh, come on. It's not that bad.
It wouldn't be so bad if they at least let us use the elevator like the rest of the staff.
Yeah, well,
Unionize! Damn it!
I'm not going against company policy because you decided to skip leg day, pal.
Hey, screw you, asshole! I know you're just as pissed about this as I am.
The difference between you and I is that I'm not crying like a baby because I have to do my job.
Look, all I'm asking is that they treat us with...
Not gonna lie, I kind of want pizza now. But I already had dinner. Guys. I hope I get pizza this weekend. I'm either going to watch Devil Wears Prada or the Michael Jackson movie. We'll see where it takes me this weekend. And I will give you guys my updates in the movie channel.
dignity. We work twice as hard as everyone else here, and we get treated like shit. Even the mascot performers get a goddamn water break.
Damn, that guy's mad. Okay. Oh, this is such high contrast. Just started burrito by the way. Are you going to see The Mandalorian? Probably not. At least not immediately.
No, come on!
Let me guess. No card?
I must have left it in the van. Come on, you stupid thing. Don't do this to me!
But you aren't authorized
Authorized to access this area. What is this? It's not just gonna make me regret this. I'm 2 to 3 series ahead of you. Boruto. Oh my god, both of you guys are here. Guys, somebody clock in for where the dog's at. Who let the dogs at? Somebody redeem it for a second so you can see this shit. If you have the points. If you don't, then we can do it another time. I'm sure he'll be convinced to do it. Thank you, Big F. He is very much with... You're so big, boy! Finian! Frida! Who do we start with the treats? Because Finian's so fucking tall. You guys are good. Good sit, Frida. Good sit. Very good sit. Okay, you guys can stay there. For those that are on the clock app, puppy cams enable on the purple app and the red app. Okay, I need to get caught up on the... For Naruto, then Naruto. That makes sense. I'm really behind. I'm not even... And I'm still contemplating starting One Piece. So there's that.
What the fuck happened here?
Do I really want to commit to it, Nachos? Do I?
We can't operate on anything. Not like this.
Welcome, Kate.
And where the hell is that robot?
Bitch, what the fuck? If you want to be happy, yeah. Bitch. Just kidding, but yes. Okay, but do I really want to commit to that? Do I want to commit to One Piece? It's only one season. First of all, Hound Dog. One season alone is like 200 episodes. And you better not tell me anything about doing the live action one, because then I'll hear Nachos in the background telling me, why would you just watch the live action? The live action doesn't even tell you half of the shit that happens. I'll watch One Piece when you guys watch Yuri on Ice. I said it. If you guys watch Yuri on Ice, I'll watch One Piece. 90% filler. Did you hear that? I. It sounded like a beat. It's on my list, I think. Hound Dog is a long series. What is happening? Oh, fuck you guys. Big If just... Ooh. Ooh. See, I'm supposed to be watching something spooky, but Big If is trying to troll Nachos right now. Are we watching Avatar? The new movie with Aang? Aang's movie? Are we watching that? I haven't watched it. I really want to. I want to see adult version of them. If I have a lot of titles on my list. You have a lot of titles on your list? What's up, Flutie? Alex, can you mute Big F? No, but he can mute you as a moderator. What the fuck? Hear me out, bro. Next time you go around, just have a welding saw, maybe a wrench, so you can undo some of the parts of the animatronics. I don't know. They're kind of cool, actually. Nah, a taser. What is that gonna do? Just overpower the mechanics? Oh shit. I think he's eat it. Oh, he's up. Oh, he's up. Oh, he's up. Oh, he's up. Over circuit. As long as you know where to hit. Uh-oh. 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 No. Get off. Sorry. Bitch! Whose eyeball was that?
Containment breach. Containment breach. Containment.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. This actually is making me want pizza. I cannot eat pizza right now. But I'm so looking forward to having pizza on the weekend. We gonna have pizza on the weekend. Bet.
Containment breach.
Admin override received. False alarm proceed as normal. Hey! Admin override? Gee, I wonder why that was easy. Who was admin? Who overrode? You have your orders. Sync the subject and report back to me. Don't disappoint me. But what if I do? A buff? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, hold on, guys. I gotta roll off with nachos. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Beat my 15, nachos. You gotta beat my 15. And there we go. Today's my day, baby. Oh, hell nah. Why is there a kid involved? Ah, hell nah. Oh, hell nah. Oh, hell nah. Activity. Collect your... See, I don't trust it. Take a picture with a fox you on your way out. I think I saw somebody on TikTok found an animatronic of Chucky. Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese, the mouse. And I think they're fixing it up to make it look better. I can't read that shit. Service. Camera shut it. What the fuck? That is the brightest tunnel. Are we dead? Is this heaven? What are we doing? Is this where we see all of our past lives? Our memories? Everything we've done? Now Streamline's giving you a join the Discord. That made me laugh. What is happening? Yo, actually, can we take a moment of how... Hey, okay, hold on, Flutie. I see your D20. You gotta beat my 10. Okay, I stay unpinned. One of the most horrifying things in the world, in my opinion, has been actually having to follow, like, for example, my friends' kids. They'll want to go to like these like elaborate park thingy majingies and whatever, and you know, me being the cool adult for them, we'll take them there, right? Same thing with my nephews. We'll take them there, right? And I'll play with them and we'll join them in these elaborate parks where all these tunnels are in, right? I'm not the biggest person in the world. Clearly, I'm 5'1", like whatever. You guys joke about it. But it's the fact that I myself will try to do these tunnel things and it's like a fucking nightmare. What do you mean? My knees hurt that bad while I'm trying to fucking crawl through the goddamn tunnel. What do you mean? I'm running out of breath just a couple steps ahead of him while my fucking nibbling or like my friend's kid is just like through the goddamn maze, and I'm just trying to catch up because I'm the adult in charge in this position and I can't lose this kid. If not, motherfucker's gonna either elope or go find himself with another family. How am I supposed to do that, huh? How do parents do it? Shout out to the parents. You guys are trying on the chat. Oh, that's normal. That's normal. That's normal.
Who are you? I'm not supposed to talk to strangers.
Oh, but I'm not a stranger. I know you, and you know me. You're my friend.
Foxy?
Kid, I'm gonna need you to grab your shit, lock into your intuition, and fucking run back. Okay? I'm gonna need you to grab your shit. I'm gonna need you to sprint. Sprint like you never sprint before. Do not approach this thing. Don't do it!
See? I'm not a stranger.
What are you doing here?
Stranger danger!
Be out there.
Stranger danger!
Well,
Stranger danger!
sure you were okay. All alone in here. By yourself. Isn't that what friends are for?
Bitch. Madame, that is Fox. It's basically already won. No. No. I see you. I see the D20. Hold on. Motherfucker, my bad. Beat my 6. What does the fox say? You bitches. That's gonna be my fucking vocal sim for the next, I don't know how many hours. Nachos, beat my 6. Fuck! It was good while it lasted. It was good while it lasted. Good game. Good game. Good game.
To keep you safe.
I'm okay.
That's right, kid. That's right. You are okay. You ain't gotta do this. You ain't gotta do this.
You can go now. Foxy.
I have a special place. A place where only I take my very...
Have you guys seen the actual movies, like the live action Friday Nights at Freddy's? And do you guys recommend it? It's okay. I just can't imagine it being great. I don't know. Cause like as much as the lore of which is, I guess that's another conversation we've had. I've thought about like literally starting the Friday Night at Freddy series, the lore, for stream on Wednesdays. And like see if we can deep dive on it. But then I was also thinking about the movies and how I kind of want to watch them. But I was like, I don't know if I see Friday Nights, like the series itself, be a good live action series to have, in my opinion. It's good, I guess, for those that are a fan of the fucking lore, but it's also just like, I can't imagine it not coming off kind of corny. The same way, in essence, Chucky comes off kind of corny, because I don't think, but the difference between probably the Friday Night series versus Chucky is Chucky's intentionally supposed to be also comedic, which makes Chucky so much better. But it's like that aesthetics in general, like it just makes it hard, obviously, to be scary. I recommend Matt Pad Friday Night at Freddy's lore more than the movies. That makes sense. Shout out to the lurkers. If you were to ask me what I think of, okay, hot take here. If you were to ask me what a video game series, what a movie, not that anybody asked me, but it's coming up in my brain. If you were to ask me what a movie series should turn video game, or the opposite, as in a video game series turn movie, this one isn't scary. I think Cyberpunk 2077 and the Cyberpunk series does need to become a movie. But then for horror aspect, it's the opposite. I think the Chucky series can be a video game at some point. But it has to play in with the comedic side of Chucky for it to actually be fucking funny. Because Chucky is not Chucky is horror, yes, and people are scared by dolls. But really, I only ever watch Chucky because he's actually fucking funny. Plus, he's a fucking ally. Chucky's kid is non-binary. Well, Chucky is in Dead by Daylight. Same with Tiffany. I know that, but I don't want to continue playing Dead by Daylight. And Chucky was actually my favorite killer. But I don't... Not okay. No shade to the Dead by Daylight folks. I used to play that game a lot. Okay, you guys feel some type of way about that. I just also feel like it gets kind of draining to play it all the time. And also the community is kind of like 50-50. Half of it's toxic, half of it is not. I also technically Dead by Daylight basically just borrow the rights to Chucky. Doesn't mean that they actually own it. So I would like to see an actual lore-based video game series of Chucky. And I think they really need to play in with the humor aspect of Chucky, because that's the only way it makes sense. That's the only way it makes sense. And I think it would be a fun series to play.
A place where we can play together. How does that sound?
No.
Foxy, I want to go home.
Engaging retrieval.
Bitch.
Why are you hiding, friend?
Bitch, this one. Foxy's fucking weird. No. Kid, don't do it. Stay quiet. Hold your breath. Bitch. Why are you there? Oh, I'm gonna hate this. 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 Don't do that. 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 Ah, poor kid. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Ah! I didn't even watch that part.
Welcome back, Foxy. Anything to report? Reporting assignment DV1. 2 witnesses, both neutralized. Employee numbers 31-4A and 31-4C. Body disposal protocol followed. Inadequate subject has been captured and is awaiting further examination. That's more Telegraph 2. Foxy, you've done well, as accurately as I've ever designed. Now, power down. Lie in wait, my beautiful creation. Me, well, I have to attend to our little friend.
What the fuck?
Don't worry, you can shut off your auditory sensors. I feel like she's going to get a bit loud.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? The fuck? Oh my god. Okay, that was great. What is this? Hold on. Oh, Alex Scott Kewathon does have lore books for FNAF called Security Books. Then there's novels, which is kind of separated from the universe. Also, he's just doing continuation of other things? Horrors on the Hispanic Internet 3. What is this? My Hispanic ass is being called to do this.
Held in San Luis Potosí, Mexico. It's one of the region's largest cultural and trade events with roots dating back to the 1960s, featuring concerts, livestock expos, and rides, receiving millions of visitors each year. What many of these visitors don't realize, however, is that one of the most disturbing pieces of footage on the Hispanic internet was filmed at this very event.
Uh-huh.
In 2008, during one of the fair's openings, a man began recording his family on a pirate ship ride. At first,
oh, I'm scared.
Normal, but what he captured instead would leave millions confused.
Oh, am I gonna be uncomfortable? Am I about to be really uncomfortable? Where's the girl? Where's the other girl? Where did the other girl go? Where did the other girl go?
Nothing seems out of place, but if you look closely, the woman sitting furthest down appears only for a moment, and then suddenly, she's gone. No movements, no reaction, just completely missing from the seat she was in seconds earlier. And that's where the story takes a darker turn. According to people online who claim to have been familiar with the fair in 2008, the figure seen in the footage may not just have been another rider. Some believe she was a girl who passed
over there, up there, and up there. He just kind of accidentally flew out.
away on one of the rides. I don't remember exactly, but I do remember that it was during the time when the FNAF was being renovated. The news spread quickly that a girl had died on one of the rides. Could it be her? Because she really disappeared. Another user added, I was in contact with people close to the accident, but Atracciones Garcia kept everything quiet. There were reports, but nothing ever aired. From what I was told, they paid all the treatments of the injured. While there's no confirmed record of a fatal accident at the fair that matches this story, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. Incidents like this have happened before, and in some cases, companies have been known to keep them from reaching the public. Of course, there are more realistic explanations. The girl seen in the footage could have simply shifted her seats or moved out of frame in a way that made
Nachos, you have to roll so Flutie knows what to beat.
her appear to vanish. And since the original source of the video is unknown, there's no way to verify if that girl was
Oof. 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 Flutie wins the D20.
And without any confirmation from the person who recorded it, what was captured at the fair in 2008 will likely remain a mystery. On April 13th, 2017, a man named Victor
A Mexican family filmed a witch and sent it to news pages in rural Mexico.
Gutierrez submitted a disturbing video to Mexican news sites. Along with it, he included a short message. A workmate who lives in Monterrey said that his family recorded it, and they believe that this is a witch. But the footage Victor was referring to was far stranger than that description suggested.
Oh god. What the hell? Hey dog, I don't know if that's a witch. That might be an alien though. That might just be an alien. I don't know. Oh shit. Damn. Not just got another D20. Flutie, you're gonna have to roll.
The clip shows what appears to be a glowing ball of fire vaguely
A witch and an alien? You know what? That's valid, hound dog.
shaped like a person rising slowly from the grounds into the night sky.
My camera looks frozen? Oh, it is. Hold on. Espérate. Te me esperas, por favor. Oye mi cámara, por favor. There you go. Hold on. Oh, hi, Frida. Okay, I'm back. And Nachos beat the D20. Let's go. Okay. ¿Por qué no los dos?
Seconds, and just as it fades, the video rapidly cuts to black. Several Mexican news outlets picked up the story, but despite the attention, none of them were able to reach a clear conclusion about what was actually captured that night. However, the deeper you look into similar reports, the more familiar this footage starts to feel. Across Hispanic forums, there are countless accounts describing nearly identical sightings throughout Latin America.
Guys, I do not think that's a witch.
I believe that what was recorded is connected to a well-known phenomenon tied to regional folklore, brujas. In Mexican folklore,
Maybe it is. I don't know.
Brujas are said to transform into fireballs. According to these legends, this form allows them to travel quickly through the night.
Maybe it could be, but I don't know. Part of me wants to be like, what if they were always just fucking aliens, bro?
Hunts, or carry out acts of heinous intent. These sightings are almost always reported after dark, often leaving witnesses with a deep sense of fear. Of course, there are more grounded explanations. It's possible the fire was nothing more than burning debris, maybe a piece of paper or material that lifted into the air as it burnt. There's also the possibility that Victor staged the video himself, especially considering he was the one who sent—
I don't know. Mess, are you in chat? Do you know any of the lore on this? I want to just justify it as is possible, but it's also like, could it have just been aliens this whole time? But then I sound like every white person that keeps devaluating the work of my indigenous folks when they built Machu Picchu. I don't want to be like that.
Directly to news outlets, but both explanations leave one problem. Reports of similar fireballs don't just exist in one place or one video. They appear across multiple countries, told by people who have no connection to each other, all describing the same thing: glowing figures rising into the sky before vanishing without a trace. Whatever the case, the footage is unsettling, and it perfectly encapsulates one of the most disturbing phenomena in Latin America.
Damn.
On June 11th, 2008, a video titled Paranormal Duende on the
Un duende! We got a duende!
The clip is only 48 seconds long, and at first it seems completely harmless. It shows a group of kids on a bridge, apparently setting up for a simple video. One of the boys places the camera down and walks over to join the others, seemingly getting ready to start recording. But what they captured instead would turn that short clip into one of the most disturbing pieces of footage ever discussed on the Hispanic internet.
What? What did they see? What? What? Why is it always low quality videos? What do you see? What the fuck is that running?
Unsettling humming is heard, and a dark figure suddenly runs past the end of the tunnel.
Kai, the goddamn quality of these fucking things.
For the past 17 years, this footage has been considered by many to be one of the most convincing videos ever set to capture a duende. For those unfamiliar with the term, a duende is a small human-like entity found throughout Spanish and Latin American folklore. often described as something resembling a gnome or goblin. In many legends, duendes are portrayed as mischievous tricksters. In others, they are something far more sinister, often being tied to stories of children vanishing under mysterious circumstances.
Respect the
And that is
dolls.
exactly why this video stood out. Across Hispanic forums, there are countless supposed duende sightings caught on camera. Most of them show vague figures, quick movements, or distant shapes that are hard to make out.
And there's never good quality video of any of this.
Right before the figure appears, faint humming could be heard in the background, something that has not been widely reported in other alleged duende sightings across Latin America. Because
Respectfully.
of that detail, many people believe the video may have been staged. Considering how popular duende sightings were online around the time this video was uploaded, it would not have been difficult to set up. However, there is another possibility. It could have been a person who was caught on camera unexpectedly, but if that is what this was,
I doubt it.
behavior makes the footage even more unsettling.
I doubt it.
Moves quickly and runs past in a way that almost feels intentional, as if it was trying not to be seen. But even that explanation leaves one detail unanswered: the humming. Unfortunately, the kids in the video never gave a follow-up on what happened that day, and the account that uploaded the footage has now been inactive for more than 15 years. So, whatever was captured on that bridge in June of 2008, the truth behind it may never be known.
Okay. Well,
across Latin America, there isn't a more well-known legend than that of La Llorona. You see, La Llorona is a woman in Mexican...
I'm about to shit my pants, aren't I?
in Latin American folklore, whose crying wails are said to lure both adults and children to their ultimately deaths. For years, long before the age of technology, this story was passed down through word of mouth with no real evidence behind it. But that began to change. As cameras became more accessible, people started claiming they were capturing this disturbing phenomenon for themselves and uploading it online. On June 12, 2022, a man named Carlos, a soldier in the Mexican military, posted a disturbing video to TikTok. The clip shows him recording a dark, empty field somewhere in Mexico. For someone like Carlos, this wasn't unusual. As a soldier, he was used to being in isolated areas like this, often in complete darkness. However, nothing could have prepared him for what he was about to encounter.
Ya le puse de grabar a ver si se escucha, güey, porque no mames, si se escuchó bien culerísimo, güey. Sí, güey. No mames, no te pases de... No te pases... No se ve ni madres, güey. A ver, deja ver. A ver, alumbrame. Esas son las vacas, güey. Hasta las vacas empezaron a hacer ruidos, güey. No se ve nadie. No se ve nadie, güey. No te pases de güey.
In the distance, deep within the darkness of the fields, a faint sound can be heard. A woman crying.
Bitch.
And wailing. Then the video abruptly ends. Not long after it was posted, Carlos's video began to go viral, quickly becoming one of the most talked about examples.
Can you repost it on the spooky chat, please? I think I'm purposely trying to separate everyone from sharing scary stuff into the spooky chat because I know some of my followers don't like seeing all these things. One of my mods specifically, so he can mute it. That's like, I guess, I know I said it on Discord, but just in case for the community. If you guys got spooky ghost stuff, put it on the spooky chat and stuff so other people can mute it and they feel like they don't have to. It's hard. I get it. I tagged you on it, so you know. I think you can favor it now, but I don't know.
Examples of La Llorona supposedly caught on camera. While it's unclear exactly where Carlos was at the time of recording, it's unusual for anyone, especially a woman, to be out in the middle of a dark...
Why did it start a thread? You just have to post a link there.
Not to mention,
Or I guess technically that could help too.
In fact, based on the footage, he appears to have been on duty. Another person in the video can be seen...
Actually, that blurs it out more, probably. Thank you.
Making it far less likely that this was some kind of stage clip. But even with that in mind, there's no clear explanation for what was heard that night.
I really fucking doubt it.
It was around 9 p.m. on a night in 2019 when a family living in Colombia began hearing strange noises coming from their kitchen. Not just random sounds.
Yo, Latin America really goes hard with the paranormal stuff and shows it on the news on a regular basis. This is news. This is news.
But a low murmuring mixed was something that sounded almost like a cat. The homeowner Doña Blanca went to check what it was, but when she tried to open the kitchen door, something on the other side pushed back. She tried again, and then a third time, but whatever was inside refused to let the door open. Thinking it was an animal, she called her 3 children to help force open it, and what they found inside was far stranger than anyone expected. The following images were taken at the scene. It was a woman, but according to Doña Blanca, something about her wasn't right. Her expression was completely frozen, locked into an intense, almost unnatural stare, and as she sat there, she continued making the same sounds. Noises that, according to the family, sounded exactly like a cat. Her hands were also covered in thick black mud, but it didn't match anything found outside the home. When Doña tried speaking to her, the woman gave a strange explanation.
Nachos, can you try again? Because I had to change some settings in there. Just to test it out.
She claimed she had just gotten off a bus, but at that hour, no buses were.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
Authorities were eventually called, and the woman was taken away to an internet cafe nearby.
Nachos, you have to roll off with Flutie.
At first, it seemed like a possible medical issue, maybe someone in severe distress, but the situation didn't end there. The next day,
Flutie, you gotta beat a 12. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I can hear the anticipation. Ads are about to start, by the way. I can feel the anticipation. Ads are about to start. Ads are about to start. Ads are about to start. We are at the second hour, top of the hour. As we wait for Flutie to beat Nachos 12. As we wait for Flutie. And she got a 1. Nacho stays rolled. At the top. All right. Second hour in. I'll go ahead and load up Nachos' second video. We're going to watch at least one part of it when they get back, I think. And then I think I'm going to head out. Oh, it's Nuke Top 5. That's right. Nachos made me watch some of that stuff. Then we'll go ahead and... No, don't worry about it, Flutie. Got 3-minute ads, so you got 3 minutes to spam the chat right now if you desire to do the D20 roll. Let's play some music in the meantime. I think that might be nice to build up the ambiance. Let's do a quick reminder. Nachos when you got time. Flutie beat the 3. Tomorrow we go back into Warframe. Oh! Tonight is fight night. Place your bets on ALX. What's up, Sean? What are we doing? Okay, so we're doing the spooky night, whatever, hanging out. Let's go. Glad I got to spend some quality time with you guys. But tomorrow we're back on Cyberpunk, so we're continuing the challenge run that we started and we haven't finished. We'll go ahead and do Cyberpunk tomorrow. And Friday we are having an early Warframe day, because I'll be out that night as well. So keep that in mind. I'll repeat myself once the ads are done, as we are still in the 3 minutes, or in the threshold of the 3 minutes. You taking the L by leaving? What? Who's leaving? Yeah. Discord link. That's right. That's right. And then I think I might sprinkle. I don't know. I'll see. I kind of love, I think I really miss Cyberpunk, so I might play Cyberpunk for a little bit and then eventually go back to Rise of the Tomb Raider. I would imagine so. I don't know. We'll see. Dun 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 dun. Nachos with the D20. Oh. Flutie. Roll off a Flutie and Nachos when you can. When you can. Flutie. Why did you roll first, Nachos? You're supposed to wait until after Foodie does it. Comprehend. All right, let's do the quick reminder of this week. All right, chat. Oh my God, the rip. Ooh. Okay, so once we're done with tonight, tomorrow we are doing Cyberpunk challenge runs. We're back into continuing those things. So tomorrow we're playing Cyberpunk, and Friday, remember, I am live a lot earlier than normal because I will be gone by nighttime doing a couple things that I need to do. So expect the alert systems to go off sooner than regular times. But yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for spending quality time. I already booted up Nacho's video. So we're going to go ahead and play that. And watch that for a little bit.
This next News Top 5 exclusive video was sent in by viewer Michael Youngblood. The video was shot near Winchester, Virginia, a city that was the site of some of the bloodiest battles of the U.S. Civil War. Michael is filming his friend Jake when they capture something that they just did not expect.
Let me get you from the front.
What did they capture?
You recording? Yep. Oh, now my socks are like wet.
What the fuck is walking behind them?
The ground. You. Look at that. Yeah. Oh.
Did you see it? When looking back at the video, Michael and Jake are shocked to see what looks like a mysterious figure dressed like a Civil War soldier and carrying a long, old-timey musket. The creepy apparition silently walks across the field right behind them. But Michael and Jake say that they didn't see anyone at the time. So could this be the spirit of a fallen Civil War soldier? Let me know what you think. Shadows of Doubt. It's a normal Friday
What the hell?
in Tuscaloosa, Louisiana, and Dante Saunier stops at a service station to get some gas. Suddenly, he notices something very strange inside a parked and empty school bus across the street.
This bus. You about to go walk up to this bus? Look at that. Look at the children playing.
Why the fuck is there a bunch of kid shadows all over the bus?
Look at that.
There's literally nobody in there. See, guys, this is where we actually supposed to mind our business and walk the fuck away and just be like, "Aight, it's all good. I don't need to be there."
An empty bus.
Oh, fuck.
Strange, creepy shadows of children can be seen walking through the school bus, even though the vehicle is parked and completely empty.
That's insane.
Dante says that he walked over to the his family have all went to bed. He suddenly smells a strange odor coming from the living room, and he suspects that one of the family pets might have urinated on the floor. But as Mike begins searching for the telltale puddle, something scares the absolute out of him.
How do I smell pee?
Yo, that's so valid. I would have fucking panicked. I would have probably panicked.
A small, childlike voice seems to whisper, "Mike," from somewhere nearby.
That's valid, Mike. Yep, that's valid, Mike.
Mike just books it up the stairs. Never experienced anything remotely paranormal before this night. In fact, Mike has never even made a single post about anything supernatural until this strange incident that literally sent him running. Recorded in an abandoned... The thing in the tunnel. Geeks top 5 an abandoned road.
Cave systems and tunnels. They freaked me out.
Railway tunnel in Hassel, Germany. The tunnel was built in 1890 and it was used extensively by German troops during World War II. So, while on a weekend trip, Laura checks out the historic old abandoned rail tunnel. She's recording with her phone when she captures...
Hell nah.
What is maybe one of the weirdest clips I've ever seen. Check it out.
What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? What the fuck was that?
Pale and thin can be seen rising up from the tracks in front of Laura on what looks like a thin little arm.
What the fuck is that?
The disturbing thing and just turns and makes a run for it. Now, watching this clip over and over.
It's a fucking Pokemon. It's a fucking Pokemon!
I honestly have no idea what this is. It looks like maybe a hairless torso with two skinny arms.
No, it just looks like a fucking massive slug.
Getting up in a very unnatural way. Maybe it's an animal, maybe it's a very weird looking person. I just don't know. So, you tell me what you think this is.
I don't think it's a weird person.
We need scary videos. So if you've seen one or even filmed one yourself, 8-year-old Jackson and 2 of his friends are having a sleepover at his home in Grapevine, Texas. The 3 fearless young boys decide to ask the family's Amazon Alexa to tell them a scary bedtime story.
Fuck no.
It was then that they realized they had made a huge mistake.
Alexa, tell me a bedtime story. Sorry, I don't know that. Alexa, tell me a horror story. Okay, turn it off. Alexa, stop. Alexa, turn off. Alexa, is that creepy? Yeah. It wasn't. Alexa, play.
Why the fuck are you begins telling scary story? Why are you kids? Okay, I half of want to like just slap them. How does Alexa go from I can't tell you, I don't know how to do that, to then like full on getting into character to do a scary story though? This is some shit I would have done when I was a kid though.
Thank you. Unholy night. Mariana Ramos says that her father was attending Christmas Mass at his local church when he decided to send her a quick video of the service. When Mariana watches the video, she sees something that gives her the chills.
What? What the fuck is that? What is that? Do you see it?
A pale person with no distinct features and deep hollow eyes can be seen amongst the cellar.
What the fuck is that? What in the Lord of the Rings is that? What is that?
Celebrating churchgoers. Mariana asks her father about the mysterious figure, and he too is disturbed and confused because he says he didn't see this person when he recorded the video. He asks other church members, but no one recognizes the odd stranger in the footage. But here's where things get really weird.
It's a fucking alien. He just wanted to feel a spirit.
Because Mariana claims that there was one person who did recognize this figure. The church's old priest. The
What?
priest said that the person in the video was an old woman who used to work closely with the church. A woman who had died many years earlier. So, is this the woman's ghost showing up to church for Christmas Mass?
That's what she looked like?
Or is it all just
No
another
disrespect.
hoax? You decide. Window to the other side.
Shut up, Nachos. Don't tell me anything.
TikTok user Alyssa is outside with her 2 children one night when
You think it's a weeping angel? Hmm.
the family spots something strange in the second floor bedroom window.
Alright, my daughter's room is up there, and we keep seeing some... Alright, put your flashlight up. Okay, wait.
What?
Look down for a minute. But put your flashlight down. Let's see if we can get it to go again. Alright, flash it up there. Oh, now it's gone. Put your flashlight down.
What's messing with the...
Flash it again.
What is it?
Put it down. Put your flashlight down. Let's see if it'll do it again. Alright, put it up. Hurry.
Who's lurking?
Someone or something can be seen peeking through the blinds of Alyssa's daughter's bedroom. But when they shine their flashlight, whatever it is simply disappears out of
That's so cool. What about the Paranormal Activity movies? I like them. I like the original one, not any of the ones that happen after. I don't know why.
sight. Creepily enough, no one can be seen standing behind the blinds, and no hand can
Do you guys want to have a spooky, scary night at the Discord, like a Discord hangout? Because I'm happy to do that.
be seen moving them. Now, Alyssa believes that
I'll be like, play Chucky.
her house is haunted by a friendly ghost or poltergeist.
I don't know. I need to catch up on the Chucky series. Actually, I'm so behind.
Means her family no harm. So instead of being alarmed, Alyssa and her children just rush right into the house and quickly head up to check out the window.
That kid is my kind of kid.
Let's see if it'll do it one more time, baby. Put your flashlight up.
That ghost is basically just playing with them at this point. That's funny.
Fine. Nobody in the closet. Here's the window right over here.
I mean, it's an attic. What do you think is gonna happen? It's an attic. I still haven't been able to go up my attic. I've asked my friends to try to take care of it for me because I'm too scared. Anyway.
Is a bit of a mystery. It kind of makes you wonder if that ghost was friendly after all.
Have I ever heard of TF2? No, I have not.
Walking Among Us. Canadian paranormal investigation team Walking Among Us reached out to us about a terrifying experience one of their investigators had at the historic SDG jail in Cornwall, Ontario, Canada.
Oh, Team Forest? Yes. My nephew used to make me play it.
SDG jail was built in 1833, and over its 190-year history, many people...
It was like our bonding time when he was younger, before his fucking teenage voice came in. Anyway.
Lost their life here. Some by hanging, some from illness, and some from horrible violence. Perhaps even more disturbing, many unclaimed bodies were buried right on the property. With a dark history like that, it's no wonder that the SDG jail is said to be extremely haunted. On an overnight investigation, Walking Among Us team member Krista is all alone in a known paranormal hotspot on the lower levels of the jail. She has a chilling experience that the investigators just can't explain.
What?
Can you please tell me your name?
What the fuck was that?
Krista is freaked out when she hears shuffling footsteps in the hallway near her, and then hears a voice that she thinks is fellow investigator Rafe. But there's just one problem. At the time, Rafe is in a completely different part of the building, filming with the other team investigators.
I won't even do the port. Nothing ever happens to me. I'm fine.
Yeah, but maybe it will.
Okay, fine. I'll sit there.
Sit for like 20 seconds.
Okay,
see if
fine,
you hear
fine.
anything. I'm the same way, so I tend to just be behind the camera.
Which is more fun.
It is. It is.
Krista is all alone while team members Rafe, Kelly, and James are doing a separate investigation in another part of the jail. In fact, when Krista calls out, the other team member's camera captures them in real time, running over to check on Krista.
Is anyone coming around the corner? What?
That's creepy. That's fucking creepy. I can't. I'm sorry.
It's sleepy, so he decided to pull off onto a desolate country road in the woods to take a nap in the back of his truck. Noah was driving late one night in the deep, isolated woods of Sun River, Oregon. He was
So is in the fucking woods.
getting a bit sleepy, so he decided to pull off onto a desolate country road in the woods to take a nap in the back of his truck. As you can probably guess, it did not go well.
So I was originally not gonna make this video, but a few days ago I was camping in Sun River, and what I thought would be a good location to pull over to the side of the road in like this forest area and sleep, which I thought no one was really around.
I'm currently sleeping in the back of my truck right now. I don't even know what time it is, and there's someone walking around my truck right now. If you can hear that, it's pretty loud. He's been walking around for like 20 minutes already.
No!
It's in my cab though. I don't really know what to do. I'm a little freaked out right now, and it's like pitch black outside, probably like 2 in the morning, and he just keeps walking around, and he's like really close to my truck. I've never been this scared, and like this doesn't make any sense because I parked somewhere where you couldn't see, no one was on that road. He's literally knocking. On my truck.
I'm done. And he can hear you, dumbass. But actually, like, also, what do we do in that situation? I would like to narrate what's happening because I feel like people wouldn't believe me. But then also, like, fuck, if I say something, they're gonna fucking hear me. What if it's a real person that's just a fucking creep?
The canopy, the back door's locked. I've never been scared before ever. I don't think he knows that there's anyone.
What in the Blair Witch? There's so much knocking. Hold on.
I'm so scared right now.
She is in her bed right now.
He's literally peeking through the door right now.
Are there banjos in Oregon? Isn't that hold on, I called her. Right there. Right there for you. Girl. Good job, honey. Good sit. Never asked you to sit, but that was a good sit. Thank you. Banjos are like Wendigos, or is that a different entity?
So, the current time is 2:30 in the morning right now. He's still walking around my truck. Try to see if I can flash my light to get him scared. So he runs away. There he is. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Eventually, whoever this person was wandered off and left Noah in peace. But the next morning, when Noah cautiously gets out of his truck, there's some creepy evidence left behind.
So I'm back home. This is the day after. He was trying to peek in my truck quite a bit with all these marks. I didn't even notice until I got
Corporal best not move for the camera. Banjos is the movie Deliverance reference. Oh, I need to watch it.
home. Handprints there, a lot of scratches, stuff like that. Dragging his finger on my side of my truck.
Thank you for the streak, Summer Streak.
Trying to get
Thank you for the
inside
stretch.
my truck. That's really all I could tell from when he was walking around.
Holy shit.
Don't know how that got there. More handprints trying to get in my truck. At least the back canopy was locked, but yeah, that was the result. So that was probably the scariest camping experience I've probably ever had in my entire life.
Now, the strangest thing about this entire incident is that Noah was parked off the road, in the woods, in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the night. And whoever this person was outside had no flashlight and never
Batman was born.
skulking around Noah's truck all night long.
Sean, shut the fuck up.
Just who was this? And what did he want? Maybe Noah is lucky that he never found out. Hider in the house. Memo and Patty, a couple who explore haunted places in Mexico, are worried that a vengeful female spirit followed them home from one of their investigations. The couple says that they now experience frequent paranormal activity in their home that terrifies both them and their children. A few months ago, we featured Memo and Patty's story as they began broadcasting their experiences live on YouTube in an attempt to prove that their paranormal encounters are real.
Te ordeno que te largues de nuestra casa.
Hola, madre.
What the hell?
They were woken up by weird sounds coming from outside their bedroom door.
What the hell?
Te despojo. Lárgate.
En la ventana. ¿En esa? Sí, no puede, es imposible que haya alguien ahí parado y les voy a demostrar por qué. No, miren, ahí está la ventana, ¿sale? Jálale aquí, hija.
Must be the wind. I will shit my pants.
Chéquense. ¿A dónde está la ventana?
What if she's into parkour, bro?
Since that night, the terrifying activity inside Memo and Patty's home has only intensified, and the couple continues to live stream their experiences right on YouTube.
Did you guys ever, I don't know, ask whatever ghost you were going into their original home, respect, honor, tell them what you were there for? Or did you just walk in to discover things and then it just followed you?
Another night, and the family is already live streaming as they arrive home. They are answering some questions from their curious live viewers when something happens that is truly bizarre.
Por ahí las llaves se quedaron pegadas. Por ahí se quedaron pegadas. Saludos, tiene TikToks. Vamos a darle con Tokio. Vamos a darle muy bien.
Am I fucking tripping? Or was that somebody standing in there?
Esta noche a la platicada.
Did you see it? As the family is getting out of the car, Memo randomly pans his phone's camera past the house's window for just a second. But in that brief
Oh, Frida left.
bizarre dark silhouette can be seen standing in their living room, even though the house should be completely empty. Memo and his family have no idea what they just caught on camera until viewers watching their live stream start to alert them. Now, Memo tries to debunk the strange apparition hoping that it was nothing more than a reflection. But he can find no explanation for who or what this could be. And things only get worse from here. Another night, and Memo starts to broadcast a live stream to YouTube to show the weird prints that he found on his car that was parked in their garage all day.
It's a fucking... It's a mimic. Obake.
Suddenly, he hears loud banging coming from a storage room inside the house. He hurries inside, and what happens next is truly disturbing.
What happens next?
¿Quién está ahí?
I'm such a chicken shit. I like doing this stuff, but then at the same time I'm like, bitch, don't look at me.
Hola. ¿Quién está ahí? Hola. Ay, creo que se metió. ¡Ey! Creo que se metió un animal.
You know what's the worst part? Because he's saying, I think an animal got in there. I would have even more... there's one thing, a ghost, but then I would have been shitting my pants if it was an animal. Because I'm like, what kind of animal? Why do I have to do this?
Hola.
The worst part is that spirit is not attached to the house, motherfucker. It's attached to you.
No mames.
The children's playhouse suddenly moves by itself and just slides right across the floor.
Something else moved in the back, too.
An animal has gotten into the playhouse. He frantically checks inside and out. There's nothing there. But, again, did you see it? Something that looks like a very tall figure with a shadowy face can be seen peeking out at Memo from behind the shelf. Again, Memo doesn't see it.
And that's the same tall ass figure that was inside the house when they were just walking in.
Completely unaware of what just happened until his live stream audience points it out, telling him to go look behind that shelf.
¿Aquí?
Why is there so much space behind the shelf?
Está hasta la caja. Vean, es ropa vacía.
So just who or what is this? Could it be the spirit that Memo and Patty claim haunt their home? Or is this something entirely different? It's up to you. You decide.
That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. Holy shit. Alright, guys. I think we're at the end of the stream. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate you. What a long day. I'll go ahead and spend some quality time with family. But I do want to remind you again before I head out. Tomorrow, we're back on Cyberpunk. And then on Friday, we're having an early Warframe day. Because I'll be out for that night. But yeah. Thank you guys for spending quality time with me. I appreciate you. Thank you guys for sticking through the ads. Watching spooky stuff with me. Hanging out on the Discord. I see the things you sent, Nachos. I'll definitely play them next time we do Spooky Hang. I do have it on my backlog to play Alan Wake. I have the first one on Steam already. I would have to start booting it up for stream. We also have Directive 8020 coming out. That's another game we're going to be adding into either Wednesday's spooky stream stuff or story-based stuff on Thursdays. Or maybe just playing it both days since it's both. So we'll see. Once that game comes out, that'll probably be one of our focus. If you guys have never played any of the Dark Picture Anthology video games, they are horror-based, story-based games. They're incredibly cinematic and very much... choose your own destiny base. Some of you guys might have already seen me play some of them. Their season 2 of Dark Picture Anthology video games are coming up pretty soon. So we're starting with that one. And I'm a huge fan of their work. Supermassive video games work. So expect that to be in our rotation. Other than that, thank you guys so much for spending quality time with me. I appreciate you. I hope you have a beautiful night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow or on Discord. Have a good night. Bye. Follow me everywhere. Join the Discord. New content on TikTok. VODs available temporarily on Twitch and more permanently on YouTube. Bye, y'all.